when I can switch into that present state of mind, I am thinking about stuff that the audience sees. They see me standing there with a guitar. I'm plugged into gear. I'm with a band. I'm interacting. I'm thinking, you know, part of me is thinking this is the right thing to play, but it's a small percentage because what I thrive on is getting lost in the music, and that's really difficult to describe. What I can say is that when I come back out of that state, I feel lost for a few seconds. I'm not quite sure what the next song is. I'm sort of recovering from a cathartic event. And then I go, oh, that's right, you're just on stage, you're playing. What's the next song? Do I have to step on a pedal? Do I have to change a guitar? For instance, just last night, I had to finish the song, and I'm finally coming sort of back to reality, and I hear somebody yelling at me, and I realize that's Mike. He's yelling at me. Why is he yelling at me? Oh, I've got to change my guitar for this next song. And, you know, from his perspective, he thinks, where is Joe? Like, where's his brain? He knows he has to change for the next song. But I'm not there when I'm playing. I'm somewhere else. I'm in the middle of the meaning of the song and then how I want to express it that night. Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants to get in the zone of this space, whatever it is. It's a shared thing too, you know. I mean, when you're doing a live performance, you are in an organism that you've created for that moment with the other guys in the band, and with the audience. Really, you're receiving energy and feeling, and you're giving it out, and there's an ebb and a flow with the guys that you're playing with, and you're also hopefully experimenting and doing something different that's new from the last performance. And that is, I guess, theoretically, is the zone, it's the space, it's that magical place that you want to get to, where you're not playing and thinking about what you're going to eat later when you get off the stage, or worried about something business-wise or something like that. You're just completely in the moment of the song. And that happens at home too. I think when I'm writing, that's where I want to be. I want to be in that little movie in my head that's all about this, the meaning of this song I'm writing. I don't want to be thinking about noises I'm hearing coming from outside, the doorway, you know, dog barking or people moving around the house doing something like that. So there's a kind of a thing where you push the outside world away, and then you sort of expand that inner space, I think. For me, that's the way I think about it. Boy, you know, it's so physical for me to play guitar that it would be the opposite. It's never I'm up on the ceiling looking down. It's like I'm right there. If there's a way to shrink myself down to that level, and into a microscopic level, just inhabiting the note, because it feels like my whole life is at that moment is the sensation of my fingertips on the strings and trying to coax a sound out of them. Yeah, I think you feel it. You can definitely pick up on the fact that somebody in your unit there is having a great moment, and you realize that it's part of your responsibility to keep that going, to support that person where they're going. In the G3 setting, it's even more exciting because everyone's sort of making it up as they go along, and we're physically next to each other as well, and so they can see our excitement. You know, it's not like someone on the other side of the stage or something like that, or behind you or something. So then it becomes, there's this great camaraderie that happens from the 3 or 4 of you are up there, and you all have this singular purpose that you've agreed on, which is to make something happen that's special. And so yeah, it's great. It's great. It's funny because that question is actually deeper than you think. Obviously, yeah, it's hard for musicians to know if they've played long enough or if they've played too long. That's why you're always looking on the side of the stage to your tour manager, stage manager. You're waiting for that sign where somebody's going like this or like this. You know, you've done something funny that you've lost track of time. But I have this thing where I love distortion and feedback. It does something to me. It mesmerizes me. You know, it's like it's the snake charmer kind of thing. And so I mentioned it to our new drummer, Joe Travers. I said, when we get to this point in the song, you may wonder where I'm going. And I said, it's a personality defect. As soon as I hear an attractive kind of feedback, I'm immediately drawn to it, and I lose track of the band entirely. And then all of a sudden I'm back and I go like, oh, where is everybody? And I might, I may have been gone for just a second or two, but is the drummer playing an eighth, the upbeat or the downbeat? I don't know what he's doing, So I've told him, if you ever see that where I freeze and I turn around and look at you, it's probably because I'm lost. And it'll happen right here in this song. Is year after year I do it to myself, so there are times where I remind myself, like, wake up, just for this part. You wake up, because it's a bit tricky, but sometimes I am seduced and I lose track.
You're in the headlight moment.
It's more like the moth with the flame, You know what I mean? Because it's completely seductive. It's just like, it's almost like it's the thing I've been searching for my whole life. At that moment, that's what I'm convinced of. And if I just hold on to it and coax it and play with it a little, and then I realize you're on stage and the band is moving forward in time and you're off over here. It's like, so Jeff Campitelli, who I played with for so many years, he could spot it in me from across the stage, and he'd know, like, just wait till he comes out of it,